All right, welcome to the Rambling Ranting Review Hour. Oh my God, we are having so much fun on this stream. And now
So much.
we are going to talk about our favorite. Oh my God! Oh my God! The Platinum End, the Platinum Disaster of Platinum End. So, Goro, what did you think of Platinum End?
Well,
we love Death Note. We love Bakuman.
Yeah, I love Death Note. That's what that's basically what I think of Platinum End. We love Death Note. I love Death Note. I wanted this to be a fun, like, intelligent series, but the power system was really strange. You kind of had to do like more. You had to make it more psychological than it to be like a shonen battle kind of thing. There was a lot of stupid things that they did with you can move infinitely fast for like 24 hours or for like an elongated period of time, so you don't get hit by the white arrow. You could just keep dashing back and forth over and over and over again within this like small container, so you don't have to worry about getting hit by the white arrow. And that was like a way to stop from getting killed by the white arrow user.
Yeah, like the Platinum End has a lot of problems. One of the biggest is that it's like the power setup death tournament is like set up for like mind games Death Note bullshit, but for reasons I will never understand, it goes into like this fucking Super Sentai bullshit.
Oh yeah, they dress up in Super Sentai like outfits because, you know, they want to masquerade their identity, but at the same time is like, is that something that is like necessary to do? Like, where are you gonna get those Super Sentai outfits from? Like in a reasonable, like, I think they're sort of setting this in like a realistic story kind of sense. Like, it's not a very fantastical world.
It's so fucking no. You're well. There's one thing. It's really fucking weird. You're right. It's supposed to be like a realistic world. It's also like semi-futuristic because they have like I forget his name, Metropolis Man, the evil main villain for the first arc,
right?
And he lives in like this high academy where they're like like lusting after 14-year-old girls, and he also has like a cryo chamber where he has his sister who he knocked down and he was like obsessed with and like killed her.
Right, and she has her like permanently frozen or something in a cryogenic chamber to hopefully revive her, I guess, or she might be dead just to preserve her body. We don't know. I still think we don't know.
Well, I think she's supposed to be dead, but like she's like cryogenically frozen. And he thinks he can revive her. Maybe he can clone her. It's stupid. It's a stupid motivation. It's really dumb. And then he wants to commit suicide because he's so sad about his dead sister. Yeah, I think she's dead, and he just keeps around because he's a creepy evil man or creepy evil high schooler.
Right. So, I mean, you have this realistic setting, so the fact that everybody is now dressing up in these like Super Sentai outfits just feels really off. Like, you could maybe have like one, maybe two characters, I guess, do it, but like every character decided to basically put on this Super Sentai costume. Every main or important character, up to a certain point, put on this Super Sentai costume. And even the guy who is like, it just like, it shattered my belief of the whole world like this guy who's like 40 years old. He's like dying of cancer. He meets these two teenagers who have an angel. He's like, I want to team up with you, and I'm gonna design costumes for the three of us because I'm actually a tailor. I'm a really good tailor. I'm gonna design Super Sentai costumes for all of you. The girl character is gonna have kawaii like cat ear cat ear costume. It's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna have like a tail for it too. It's just like it's part of my, you know.
It's my background.
I'm a tailor. I'm passionate about fashion and also like Super Sentai costumes, but like he takes it like super seriously, and you know he feels like this.
Potato S says Cancer Master Chief.
Yeah, he's like Cancer Master Chief, and he was gonna give them all guns, and like none of them wanted to pick up guns.
Oh my god, yeah, that also reminds me. The main character is like one of the worst anime characters in anything I've seen in a long fucking time.
Yes.
He's just like this potato sack of a guy, of a teenager who's like, you know, oh, I like this girl, but I'm too much of a pussy.
Don't insult Potato S here. This is like he's a radish sack. He's a radish sack.
He's a radish sack of a human who's just dumpy and like not fun to be around. He has no fucking motivation. He has no interesting ideals other than like, I hope people can live a good life. I want to find my happiness. And then his girlfriend is literally just the definition of like, she's just the girl. There's nothing to her except for the fact that she's just the girl.
She doesn't really have a personality besides like, oh, I want what you want, main character. And she's like, oh, it turns out I love you too. Wait, is that what happens? It's like she hits him with the love arrow, and he confesses to her, and then he's like, oh, I really do love you. And then by the time the arrow runs out, he's like still like, oh yes, I still really love you. And he's like, wow, okay, well, I guess we should team up or something. And then somehow she falls for him, even though he's like very depressing and like,
well, they were
he's like he doesn't want to do anything to.
They were like childhood friends, remember? And he always kind of like looked up to her or whatever because he had like a past where his parents get killed, and so it was like one of those like star-crossed, school lovers that have been together forever, and then just the death game brought them together. But they're just two of the most boring, uninteresting, stupid milquetoast characters, which is like the last thing you want in a death game setup with Death Note rules.
Yeah, I think what the creator of Death Note was thinking with this main character was like, I guess they wanted to a challenge writing a main character like this, like as like someone who is like a defeatist pacifist. But I can understand wanting to take up that challenge, like making a story to write a character like that, but they did not. They fell super flat with it. Like,
oh, they screwed it up. It was a bad decision. It doesn't suit your fucking strengths. It was a bad decision to have like this dumb pacifist inactive character. It was a bad fucking decision to have them get into like this Super Sentai war where we're like, they're just flying in the sky. It was also a terrible decision to have like, oh, what's the big moment? I'm going to walk with you, and then I'm going to shoot an arrow at you, and then I'm going to deflect it, and oh, I'm just going to keep walking at you.
I was just thinking maybe, okay, hear me out. Another alternative way to make a character like this work. So he's a pacifist, and he's like whiny and very depressed and doesn't want to do anything. So you have like all these other characters like dragging him around and like yelling at him like, I wish you'd do something. You lazy asshole. You have like some of the most powerful angel powers. You have the white arrow. You should fucking use it. And he's just like sitting there just like that all the time, and then like, you kind of like building him up eventually to overcome like
he should have
this
had an
terrible
arc.
character trait to finally like he's gonna use his pacifistness to be like, I'm gonna defend this one person that I care about, but I'm not gonna kill them. And like that's probably after like a series, like a few other characters die, like that have decided to team up against Metropol Man or something like that. And then he has his hero moment where he breaks out of the closet that he was stuffed in, and he fights for the woman that he cares about to not kill the antagonist, but to beat him without killing him.
Without anyone dying. He comes up with some smart way. I just think you should have had a completely different main character. I think that the problem is so bad that like you should have just axed it. God, it tries so many times to be like really edgy, where like ooh, it's the lesbian murderer girl. Oh my God, she kills all these young underage schoolgirls and has sex with them. Oh my God, here's this comedian and he's having an orgy. Oh my God, here's a little girl in a baseball stadium who's a god candidate and we're gonna watch her die. Oh, it's so fucked up.
It was like there was like no real there was no real like significance like in the story to add all that. Like it was mostly just for really dumb throwaway shock value, because like you just know those characters were gonna get killed off. Like those characters just get killed off like right away eventually. But I wanted to say something else. I think there was a series that did have a depressed character, like a super depressed, like not wanting to do much character that was successful. Wasn't a full story or anime. It wasn't a full like anime, but like he came in the middle of the series. Jujutsu Kaisen 0, that main protagonist from Jujutsu Kaisen 0. I think maybe if they made that character follow a similar storyline, maybe that could work.
Interesting.
Do you think that's like a relatable, like it has like it's a relatable in the sense where it's like, yeah, that character has a lot of similar traits,
Yeah, in a way. The difference though is that like I guess the Jujutsu Kaisen 0 is kind of like forced into a situation as well, because he like curses his like childhood friend who he says he's gonna marry and gets attached to him, versus this guy who's just like kind of forced into just uninteresting, mopey, whiny, complaining about happiness. It's just like a boring fucking character. Yuta's like a kind of a little sad but a little derpy. He's a sad boy who wants to be happy. Well, whoever the fuck the Platinum End guy is just like just fucking wet mop all fucking time.
Yeah, but you see like how very similar those two characters are. Maybe it seems like they have a lot of like this like similar traits. And if the Jujutsu Kaisen character was or his name is Yuta, right?
Yeah.
So if Yuta was, let's say, he was kind of like already put in the forefront as a leader, like, oh, what should we do, Yuta? And Yuta is like always like, oh, I don't know. And they're still following him as a leader. It just feels really freaking awkward. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, why are you following this guy? Like, it makes no sense. Like, in the logic of storytelling and character writing, like, why are you following this wet noodle of a person? Like, as like the other supporting characters, you should be dragging this wet noodle to do what you want him to do. Like, you're not following this wet noodle as a leader.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. There's no reason why anyone should listen to why the fuck this guy says. And Yuta never really leads anyone. He's still always like a lone, a lone wolf. And even and he works with people, but he's not just kind of like, this all powerful guy who's just kind of like forced into this situation and tries to make the best of it. And he's a little sad, but willing to do what needs to be done. It makes no sense. That's why anyone would want to follow Red or his girlfriend.
Right. By the way, you were breaking up a little bit there again.
Yeah, I saw some like BS issues.
Yeah, so
I was saying, like, it makes no sense to follow him because he's such a boring piece of shit character. I don't see why he has the charisma to like lead anyone to anything. And God, this series, like, I've never seen like a creator, maybe with the exception of Fire Punch, a creator I love make something I loathe so much.
Yeah, it's sad. I feel like, you with a character like this, you kind of have to build him up to become a leader in a sense. Like, he doesn't just automatically have leadership qualities right off the bat. Like, he's depressed, he's mopey. Like, let him be a follower for a little bit and be like, okay, I'm gonna support you, but I still disagree. I think we should fight this peacefully. And then the other peoples will be like, you're like, no can do. We gotta fight this however is necessary. And you gotta shut your fucking mouth. You gotta shut your fucking mouth and stop being a doubter. You're here to support us. You're part of our squad. Got it? It's like, this is a life or death. My family, I'm a father. I'm a father and a fucking family man. Like, the 40-year-old should have been the fucking, like, guy who's been like, yeah, you know what? I'm sorry, dude. You just gotta listen to me. We can't have you, like, trying to... No. I'm in charge here. Like, please. Shut the fuck up, Yuta. And just... Let's try and survive this so I can go back to my fucking family. You fucking, like, pacifist lunatic. Like, how dare you play, a game of chance with my life on the line, just so you can stick to your pacifist principles and ethics.
Yeah, and just some of the characters are like, oh my god, that whole fight sequence where like Metropolis Man invites his like loser squad of like goons, where he's got like, I'm a virus person and I'm gonna unleash this virus, and I'm the kid with a Donald Trump mask, and I'm the guy with a giant machine gun. Everything was like just so poorly conceived, and like, oh, the white arrow kills the virus. Oh, what are you gonna do?
I could see this being a thing if this was like a more fantastical, quirky kind of universe or world. But when the setting is just built off of like such a realistic, like ground, like down to earth kind of setting, but just with the Angels power system added on top of it, like, to me, this felt like a bunch of nonsense. Like, it just didn't click with the rest of the universe that they established.
Yeah, it was like this really weird, quirky anime bullshit that just did not fit at all. And it was all terrible. The fights were terrible. I hated the ugly guy who like gets plastic surgery and has a katana and then falls in love with a regular girl. Metropoliman is like such a simplistic bad guy where it's like, I think only rich people should be alive, and I'm gonna kill everyone who I view as underclass. That's my world, because I'm a rich snob. Ew.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of lame. You know, I was just thinking, if they establish their world as like a little bit more quirky, I wonder if we would view it more differently and not take it as seriously. Like, imagine if it was like something in the setting of like panty stocking or space dandy. Like these kind of like weird, quirky ass like fucking worlds where, you know, anything can like happen and it's just like, oh, that's like widely accepted. Yeah. This 40-year-old man's just gonna make us a bunch of costumes, and we're gonna fight this Metropol man. Yeah.
I think it would have worked better if it would have worked better if like you needed to do one of two things. You either needed to have a more grounded Death Note style story with schemers and people who are like manipulating people to do Code Geass like moments of fucking them over, or you needed to be a wacky, over the top panty and stockings fantasy world, and instead you just get like the worst of both worlds, and it doesn't.
Exactly. I wonder how did they flip so hard on like how do they fuck this up so hard, the realistic setting, you know?
I don't know. I wish I could read some behind the scenes. I want to find some interviews. I want to know what's fucking going on, because he holy fuck, was this a bad idea? So, we got the Metropolitan Man as the first arc. What do you think of the second arc? Which, to me, it was the closest thing the series came to redeeming itself. Just because it had, I thought it had that feel. I think that's super interesting to have the ultra atheist guy who's like, we should kill ourselves so mankind can evolve without God. But like, the only problem is there were no good characters to for him to bounce off of.
Well, I don't know. By that point, it was just like, it just became this like, philosophical like debate of like, and not really. So it went from like sort of like an action story, action like sort of psychological kind of warfare story, to like a philosophical debate with a little bit of psychological warfare too. But I don't know.
I feel like the philosophical debate was like the most interesting direction it should have been. But the problem is you've got the wannabe Instagram thought with big boobs. You've got the suicidal kid who just wants to hide it under a blanket. You've got the little fighting kid who just wants to give everyone white arrows so they can just shoot each other. And then you've got like our two main characters, the boy and girl, who are just boring wet blankets. So it's not interesting to hear their different ideas about. All they say is that I don't want to be God. That's it. Let someone else be God.
I guess so. Like, I wonder like how God, it's like they really pushed themselves to, they really fucking like, they gave themselves like like Rock Lee level weights, and they were not prepared for those Rock Lee level weights to hamper their like ability to tell this story. Like I don't know how you do like an interesting philosophical debate manga. The only things I can think of is like maybe um uh, do you remember I recommended this manga to you, Homunculus?
Yeah, I remember it. It's from the Ichi the Killer guy, where the people drill. I was like terrified you were gonna like drill a hole in your brain because you were like so fascinated by it.
Yeah, I I don't think I'll do that anytime soon. But it was God, it was so interesting to the battles they have in that manga were so like mental and like also philosophical and felt like deep, like connected to like deep emotional trauma. I feel like in order for this, the way they made those battles work was like, yeah, because you have this trauma, like this deep mental trauma, that's why you think this is right. But actually, people are still, but I think you're actually, afraid of you're actually afraid of being who you really want to be or something like that. And you're afraid of retaliation from your father. And that's why you've manifested like physically into a fishbowl version of your father. like that kind of shit in Homunculus was like, whoa, fucking hell, this is amazing. And I love reading that manga. It was so fun to go through. And I really wonder if they'd ever animate something like that. I feel like it deserves it. But I don't know, like, I don't know how they would transition from like battle psychological into something like that. It just doesn't feel quite right to me. I just can't really articulate.
Well, it's not set up. We had one half of Power Ranger Wars, and then we had this psychological thing with characters who aren't like, and it was like one-sided. There's only one guy, and it's like, to me, that's a fascinating idea about this like militant atheist guy in a world where God is real and God can be physically proven through phenomenon that have been reached out to you directly. That to me is like super fucking interesting, and he's still like, this isn't God. It's a creature parasite who we need to get rid of for the evolvement of humanity. And it's funny how they like go so hard to like frame him as a villain, even though he doesn't seem super villainous, other than the fact that he wants everyone to die so there could be no God.
Oh, I got an idea. What if okay. Shoot, why? Damn it. I'm like thinking like, how could they have made this work? Because the villain atheist guy convinced like the suicidal kid that, oh, his ideology is right and I should side with him. But like, if they somehow were able to turn the tables and like maybe give this like kid like some form of like therapy or medication or something, or like psychological like warfare, and totally like warped like or brainwashed this like depressed kid's mind, so for the sake that they can win against this atheist guy, like maybe that would be kind of interesting, because you would be like doing something like almost apprehensible by
I think you mean reprehensible, right?
Yeah, reprehensible or whatever, by brainwashing and like traumatizing this kid in some way, just so you can get him to you know, betray this scientist guy.
Maybe. I mean, that would have made it slightly better. I just think it's a new set of different characters. Like the Suicide Kid isn't interesting. Instagram influencer isn't interesting. Playful Kid isn't interesting. The only interesting character is the fucking the police chief is okay, but like not that great.
At this point in the story, what if they switched main characters? Like switched it to someone who is better dealt, who is a better antithesis to the atheist character, and just put that other main wet noodle character on the sideline.
Yeah, have him killed off and have one of the god candidates be like super Jesus-y and like argue like theology and shit and how like it just shows that like Christianity or all the world's religions had some element of truth even if it wasn't the truth, and this is a great starting point for
he could be like a top class debater in high school or something like that, and they have like some kind of like passionate debate battles.
That'd be fantastic. Like 3 separate debates, and like all the nations of the world are like trying to decide who should be God, and then they have to battle for like the Indian faiths, and like they have to decide it with a vote, like a universal vote, because it becomes an issue between mankind, and like both of them want to be God, and both of them they just reveal everything, and then it's all just done with this. That'd be super interesting. Then you can have like Hindu or Muslim people like trying to assassinate the debate building or whatever. They try and kill them.
I don't think you have to kill off the main character. You could just put him on the sideline. Like, know what?
Kill him.
No, Wet Noodle, sit this one out. Just be over there. Just watch. Debate bro is gonna come in. Destiny or Vosh is gonna like step to the table.
That would be amazing. Like
oh my god,
the scientist guy is like the top 5 debaters.
Oh my god,
in front of him.
And he beats like every single other like famous debate bro online or something like that.
Yeah, they should have like each one like has like a team of debaters, and this whole thing, and it's like all judged. Yeah, fine, have that. Like we haven't had the debate bro manga. I want the debate bro manga. Make a live streaming debate bro manga. I want to read. I'd read the fuck out of that.
So funny. I think I would enjoy that.
I would watch the fuck out of that. I want to see a debate bro with battle manga and like atheists versus religious people about if God should exist or if they should kill them. That sounds fucking fantastic.
Oh yeah. I think that'd be pretty funny. I don't think I would watch a whole anime on debate broing, but I think just having that one like battle sequence or little mini arc focus on debate broing or whatever would be.
I'll tell you this much: if Togashi did it, you would love the shit out of it.
That is true. You're right though.
It feels like something Togashi would do, like a la the Hunter x Hunter election arc.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh my god, in the middle of the Succession War or some bullshit like that.
Yeah.
It'd be like in the middle of Succession War, and then like imagine Hisoka, Crollo, and Jing and Pariston in a Zoom call debating about the ethics of Nen or something like that.
Yeah, I'd love that. Or like who was the right to become king, and then like everyone knows about the Succession War, and it's like, oh shit, Nen beasts or whatever are fucking up they destroyed the motor. The black whale can't go forward unless we debate this, and then everyone on the ship has to fight and debate and choose who the king of Kaking should be.
Oh my god, there'd be so many other like multiple levels in like this debate. There'll be like, all right, we're gonna send a very subtle assassination team against Hisoka while he's in the middle of this Zoom debate, bro thing. So his points don't get across when I bring this point up. So I will win the debate automatically. You know, something like
you
that.
just have all the various characters, all the various hunters, like aligning with different princes and like trying to support them or whatnot, or do subterfuge.
And they have to do like, and they have to make sure the timing is right too, because like if his point, you know, if his point is comes across as like better than the other opponents, like he's gonna look like a martyr and his cause, and that will make me lose the debate at the end, you know, that kind of thing. So,
like that would be fun. Oh god! And then probably the most egregious thing that I hated the most was the fucking super edgelord ending, the Hot Topic ending.
Oh yeah, where the suicidal kid kills himself as God and wipes out humanity. Like, and humanity is like rapidly disappearing. It's like, oh my god, what's happening? Ah! And the main characters are just like, just hold me. They're like, okay, all right, we're gonna die, and then they just disappear and die. And happy ending.
It is the ultimate. It is like a 14.
Yeah.
The ultimate. It's the ultimate nihilist fantasy. It's like the ultimate 14-year-old edgy kid who like puts on the CSI glasses and then the screen comes on. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like so tonality, like the tonality just like shifted from like a very tepid like 1 to like 99 all of a sudden without any warning. It's just like, okay, I guess you're doing that, and wow, so shocking that you're wiping out humanity, you're disappearing. Wow.
Potato says there should have been a blaring Creed song in the background. It's just like so try hard, so fucking emo that like, yeah, God, it's too, humanity's so fucked up that God kills himself because he can't take it. There's no way, because we're just so fucked up and there's so much rape and murder and fucked up stuff that God just kills himself. He can't do it. But the humans didn't know they need God, so then they all disappear. Everyone just dies. Yeah.
And then it's like, oops, I guess he really did need God.
Yeah.
And that's the moral of the story. It's like, oh, and it's like all the atheist characters like, oh, I think we should play around with the idea of killing God, and then we'll finally get rid of that organism that's sucking away from humanity. And they keep on going on and on about playing around with this idea of like, oh yeah, we should totally kill God. Yeah, that would be awesome. Let him starve. And then when they do, it's just like, well, you fucked up. You done fucked up.
you done goofed, kid. You done goofed. It was a bad idea.
Yeah. Turns out religion was right after all, you dumbass.
Yeah, religion was right.
It's the ultimate, like, you done goofed, you dumbass kind of thing.
You done goofed. You really do need God or the creature. And then at the end, they have like this voiceover where it's like, you know, ooh, we are the fabric of the universe. Oh, let's find a new planet. Let's put in some new organisms. We done fucked up with humanity, so let's get some new shit in there. It's like, God, like, isn't it so great that, like, Death Note never really focused on the politics of, like, you know, the Shinigami, and they were just there and in the sideline?
Yeah.
What the fuck are these fucking angel characters who just sat around and did nothing?
You mean the Shinigami or the... What do you mean? Oh, you mean the angel characters in Platinum End?
Yeah, there's like 14 of them. Half of them are, you know, the ultimate, you know, masturbate. You know, you want to jerk off to this waifu with like huge, big anime boobs, but they do nothing. they're like just so surface level.
Yeah, they don't really yeah, like you can't really use them that well strategically. You can like console with them. I think Red kind of made a little bit of strategic use with his angel, but I forget how and why. At that point, it just became like so minor to me. Like this series has already fallen super flat for me.
Well, she's also supposed to be kind of like the enemy. She's like supposed to be this edgy anime girl who like, hey, why don't you kill people so you could be happy? Yeah, and she like would kind of goad him to do fucked up things, and you're supposed to be like, oh wow, this cute thing is actually super edgy. Whoa.
Yeah, I don't know that. That was a little bit weird. I mean, that could have been like a nice dynamic between the angel and the pacifist in some ways, but didn't really go anywhere, and it was hard to interact with because the angels could literally not interact with anything. So
Well, except for that one moment where it turns out that like Natsu's special or whatever, Red's main angel girl is like she can like interact with physical things, and that's what made her super special. But then she loses her angel status, but then first rank angel, then she gets it back.
Right, she did save Red from falling, right? In the first.
Well, she saved him from falling, and she also saves him from like the bullet from Atheist Guy during her big final debate showdown.
Right. I don't know. Super lame series. I put it on the bottom of everything that almost everything that I've watched so far.
Would you say it's the worst, possibly the worst anime you've watched? Is like jockeying for that position?
No, I think the worst thing I've ever watched has to be Promised Neverland. Because this was a sustained flat line. This was a sustained flat line, right? So I had really limited expectations. But then what Promised Neverland did, it elevated my expectations so high, and then just it's like the fall of Caesar, right? When something rises high, the bigger the rise, the bigger the fall. That was kind of what happened with Promised Neverland. It was such a tumultuous fall from grace from Promised Neverland that it just shattered
about the anime,
everything.
The anime, right? Yeah, the anime does
also
have that
the manga
special
too.
Yeah, I agree. The manga is like probably one of my biggest disappointments. I do want to make my video someday where I just like talk about like how the Promised Neverland was one of the biggest disappointments for something that started off so well.
Oh yeah.
Because some people still defend it, but like I'm of the opinion that like the minute they get out of that fucking farm, it was all downhill. It was just a cascading series of bad and worse choices.
Yeah. So disappointing.
That anime is like probably one of the like top examples of like holy fuck. Like I thought the manga like showed you how to fuck things up. The anime went even a step further. You ever see the Voice Critical where he talked about Promise?
Yeah, I saw that a while ago. I forgot exactly what he said, but he's kind of he's in the same page, I think, as us. He's like, he's like, it turned out like Promised Neverland became like a wet fart at the end of it, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
like went out with a wet fart.
Oh yeah. All right. So it still rates below there, but so what score would you give the Platinum End?
I give it a. I give it a. Maybe a 2. I give it a 2. Art style.
I'm gonna be slightly.
Okay, what were you saying?
I would give it like maybe a 3 because I thought that like the last the atheist guy showed like what the series could have fucking been. You know, there was like a vague gasp of life there. So it shows you like what a better version, but by that point it was like too much baggage, too much fucking bullshit, too much kind of fucking it over. So it wasn't salvageable. But like you saw like the in a decaying corpse that was dying from multiple cancers. There was like a little breath, a little bit like, oh, maybe you can come back, maybe you can make it, but no.
No. There's my faith in this series kind of like shattered long ago. Like I think, what was the moment where it really shattered? I think the cancer guy coming in and he's like, "You're our leader, wet noodle pacifist guy, and I'm gonna make you Super Sentai outfits as well. And I have cancer and a family, so obviously everything is at stake. But I'm gonna let this pacifist boy from high school show me how to beat this lunatic megalomaniac guy. I'll follow him to the ends of the earth, and we're gonna team up. Worst team up ever."
Yeah. Platinum End is like holy fuck. I love Bakuman. I love Death Note. I've never seen like such a rapid face plant from like a well beloved and established creator team. I can't believe the manga was as bad as it was. I can't believe it got any adaptation. I would be horribly embarrassed, and everyone should feel ashamed. Promised Neverland Platinum End cosplayers don't exist. Never do it because it's dog shit and doesn't deserve it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was unfortunate. What can you do?
Yeah, sometimes your favorite creators. I just hope, pray to God that or creature or that Fujimoto doesndoesn't have like that kind of decline.
At least the Death Note guys made Bakuman, the manga, not the anime. I don't like the anime, but I love the manga for Bakuman.
Yeah, 2 out of 3 isn't terrible, but holy fuck. Just a mere decline in quality. It's interesting, when you look at other Masashi Kishimoto's manga he did after Naruto, Samurai 7 or 8 or whatever, where like it's not terrible, but it like has all of his worst traits. But it retroactively didn't ruin Naruto for me. It's just like an interesting failure.
Which one was that again?
Sorry. Samurai 8.
Samurai 8. Oh, I don't remember that one.
I told you about it a while ago.
That was like his precursor to the Nine-Tailed
No, it's like what he did after Naruto.
Oh, okay. I see.
He didn't former assistants handle all the main art. It's something I would love to force. I would love to force you and Scott to read to talk about, but not today. All right, so it's been a fun session. I'm sure Meerkat wants to spend time with her husbandu.
That's right.
And thank you for sitting with us, listening to us as we talk about the platinum disaster of Platinum N. Thank you for the people who watch this live with us with the streams. Potato S, you are the GOAT.
Yep.
And this was. I hope to do this more often. I want to get back in the low effort content game because it's a fun thing. It's a fun thing for me.
Yeah, no, this is fun talk. I like fleshing out my thoughts about these series.
Oh God, I'm so excited to do it with Scott tomorrow about like Berserk and Hunter x Hunter.
Oh, Berserk 2? Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I really want, because I think we're all gonna have very similar opinions about like, because there are two things I want to do. I want to ask him about what do you think of pre-Berserk, or because pre-Muera Berserk, because he got caught up and we never got to record him talking about his reaction to the series as a whole, and then then our opinions about post Muera Berserk.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be interesting to hear Scott's thoughts about it. So Scott actually read Berserk, like all of it?
Yep, he read all of Berserk. He finally got around to it during the pandemic, so he's completely caught up.
Good. I'm glad he finally bit the bullet in it. Was this like a birthday present or something?
I forget. It might have been a birthday present, or he might have just done it on his own. But yeah, it was fun to see him catch up with like all the more recent stuff before the tragedy hit. All right, so thank you guys. I'm ending the stream now, and hope you see you in the next time I do this.